What's up, YouTube? In this video, I will tell you how my brain got sabotaged at an early age of 7. So stick with me.
And in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, here we have one of the most perfect specimens of the human brain that has ever come to my attention at the university. And here the abnormal brain of the typical criminal. Observe, ladies and gentlemen, the scarcity of convolutions on the frontal lobe as compared to that of the normal brain, and the distinct degeneration of the middle frontal lobe. All of these degenerate characteristics check amazingly with the case history of the dead man before us.
Looking at today's society, it seems that our ability for day-to-day problem solving is further away from being perfect than ever, and brain development is lacking nowadays in every stage of our lives. Due to premature birth,
I've got to experiment further. He's only a few days old, remember.
Most of us are missing the last crucial stages of fetal brain development, and in addition, we're exposed to high frequencies that operate beyond natural range. And for all of you thinking ADHD is in fashion, you're damn right it is. Have you ever thought about why our learning curves feel unnatural and unprogressive? Instead of being a constant, it rather seems it's subject to downfall, and the second you stop performing the task, your memory is regressing to a previous state of knowledge. Perhaps you're familiar with this situation. In society, we have been taught that progress is made through failure. When you fall, you're taught to stand up and dust off. While it is true that one will perform better, I would not call it progress. Our mind is built to perform effortless because it connects to the source of knowledge. In reality, there is no such thing as learning. If you will, learning is just a mere intermediate step to understand an unknown situation. Yet it should be only a fraction of the entire process, since our human organism is a living supercomputer able to perform effortless. This quality has deliberately been taken from us.
In my own hands. Let's have one final test. Throw the switches.
In one hand, it's mind-blowing if you think about the fact that human beings replicate our biological nature in robots in an attempt to outperform what nature has created to its perfection. On the other hand, it feels archaic, existing in the realm of human life experiments where a subject is extracting the very humane essence of the involuntary deemed object. Attempting to understand the human organism implies debilitating it and observing the response of a given input, thus experimenting and exerting control over it. I certainly did not opt for that. Here comes the clue. Contrary to our beliefs, our organism has trimmed artificially to function as a machine, timed to perform at a given speed and pace. Sadly, most of us are not aware that improvement in our society occurs through the principle of machine learning and constant failure, thus keeping us prisoners of a stagnant society and being at will of their designers. I mean, I'm not surprised that our world is slowly turning to shit. The good news is that when a shift in awareness occurs, the sheer masses are able to create something very beautiful on this planet. After World War II being
What I really want to know is, when will the wedding be, if you please?
a cover-up, it seems that the human trial spirit is more alive than ever. It's just operating with a little more finesse and the same hidden brutality back in the old days. There are many variables affecting human behavior, memory, and vibrant life impressions. An uncompromised olfactory system is certainly key, and if turned off, we will live to the standard of roaming zombies on this planet. Definitely, there is plenty of controversy and gunpowder I could be discussing in this post, and the many ways our bodies can get sabotaged. In this video, I would like to talk about the inward binocular focus and its effect on our brain while being asleep. I call it inwards because the focus happens in our brain, similar to when you focus your eyes on an object. It is important to mention that I am not a doctor or a physician, nor am I working in this field, but the understandings result from personal experiences. And please do not account me for a conspiracy theorist for the things I'm saying. I'm rather a realist. Again, my word is based on experiences from a very young age. Know and understand that our bodies are conductive and can be hacked and tapped into at any given time. It's like reading the Sunday newspapers or frying your Sunnyside morning eggs for breakfast. Feel free to resist me if I'm wrong. Around the year 1991, aged 7, I remember laying one night in bed right before falling asleep and realizing that my brain was hacked by an invisible creeping entity. The sensation I felt was the one of a magnet tearing on the bridged area where left and right part of the brain connect. I am by means no surgeon or physician, but when looking up the anatomy of the brain, it felt like my corpus callosum was ruptured. In consequence, my binary view got distorted, and for the period of a full week I had to learn how to refocus and align my eyesight. Ever since, my sleeping pattern has changed for worse, and dreaming became a thing of the past. But it doesn't end there. After that night, instead of knowing how to perform a task, it rather felt that I had to learn how to perform a task. In school and day-to-day life, I could not perform the way I wanted to. The calmness and coordination shining from my frontal lobe was absent, leaving me in a state of permanent unrest. And my ability to perform natural speech has been impaired ever since. To me, fast speaking is a thing of the impossible, since my words don't come easy. In addition, I'm being teased creating this very own content, taking forever to finish it. I hope it turns out well, since...
Would you like one of my flowers?
Also, a major shift happened in what I remember as deep sleep learning. In science, it's called hypnopedia. While before I was able to process information while being asleep, after that incident, it was not the case anymore. Let me explain. If you understand that an inner binocular focus also occurs at night while being asleep, you will understand that your two brain sides are able to symmetrically align and overlap. In consequence, your inner eye is focused. What then happens is plain astonishing. The sensation is similar to looking at stereograms that were popular in the early 80s, with the main difference that the effect occurs in total darkness while being asleep, rendering images from your daily experiences and problems. Thus, processing information in color at a very efficient and analytical pace, outputting the best solution to a given problem. Contrary to regular dreaming, where you cannot completely control its action and outcome, during deep sleep learning, you're actively guiding the problem solving. Given the fact that my right of birth and natural talent has been wrecked and sabotaged, I was denied to experience an infinite realm of astral mind-spirit connections. I am profoundly frustrated and irritated. Ever since, I was not afraid of monsters under my bed, but instead the ones in my head. Know that I'm really pissed at those motherfuckers that left me stranded, that made my teardrops ripples transform into rogue waves, leaving them shattered and shipwrecked along their insidious behavior. That Hello Kitty waves end up in #MeToo. That attempts to fool the public will render you moron. Now, I do not intend to open Pandora's box in this video by trying to bust the general accepted notion of rapid eye movement or discuss the indispensability for dentists or other mental health establishments. But if you have a healthy amount of skepticism, you might know where I'm trying to get. Since imprisonment has many facets, and being exposed to high frequencies is just not my thing. Don't be surprised if my auricular conqua is not being tricked by the devil's voice. See, if you tap into my eyesight, you can't possibly make a fool out of me.
My work must come first, even before you. At night, the winds howl in the mountains. There's no one here. Prying eyes can't peer into my secret. What can he mean?
I'll keep my rights reserved for discussing these topics in other videos.
The storm will be magnificent.
For 7 years before the pandemic in 2019, I tricked your kind, and for 7 years after that, your dicks betrayed your own kind. So, here's my serious last warning.
What did you say then?
Back off. Now addressing my true audience, anyone viewing this video, feel free to post any comments or questions. My creativity has been limited and reduced to be a functioning human in society, bursting with ideas that I cannot translate and bring to life, since my interdisciplinary entrepreneur, my inner content creator and artist, my finance manager, and my inner investor all have been imprisoned. It's not that they are absent, but I merely can't make any use of them in the way I would like to. My inherent tool for creativity has been sabotaged, and as a receiver of universal knowledge, my corpus has been reduced to a chaotic network of neurotransmitters. Feel free to share, like, and comment. Peace.
What a forsaken place here. You're trying to burn it down, eh? What's that for, eh? Well, what's the matter with you? You look as if you've been kicked by a horse.
Search every ravine.